my take on RIMOWA suit. From a fashion designer's perspective, I run a fashion brand out of New York called A-Kings. I actually tried to make luggages at one point and went to the factories to build them myself before settling on RIMOWA suitcases. I have years of using these two RIMOWA suitcases. A formal review on my thoughts from the build quality, customer service, to just overall experience of using them. Is it worth it, and whether you should buy them. Make a decision for yourself whether you will buy it or not. If you think this is helpful, if you have more questions, also leave a comment, like, subscribe, everything. I'm gonna get back to all the questions and comments. The first thing we're gonna get into is going to be the build quality. One of the ways I test the quality of the wheels is how many times I can personally slide on the suitcases through the airport. Smoothness of glide and everything, I would say RIMOWA is number one. The thing that people do say about RIMOWAs and that they don't really like about is got to be probably these do dent extremely easily. I did just get this back from servicing. It's an option if you don't like the dents. It's basically they hammer it out for you. You can hammer it out yourself, to be honest, as well. Personally, I do think the denting to me is like denim. I think of it like aging. It tells a story of where you traveled and where you've gone. Of course, you know, any suitcase, let's be realistic, does this. But I just really like the classic original material. It is heavier than most suitcases because of the material, but I really like how it ages personally. They do tend to scuff if you care about a pristine suitcase because of what you're paying for. You know, that is something to keep in mind. Mine is fairly aged, as you can see, but when it comes to servicing, they are really on top of things. So I had a dent in this section of the suitcase that I kept there for too long, so it affected the frame of the overall suitcase. And because of that, I had this TSA lock break on me in the middle of a flight. So I get, and then luckily nothing fell out. Like this was still intact, but this lock was busted. So right away, luckily I went to RIMOWA, Beverly Hills. They were able to temporarily fix my suitcase so that I could fly out the next day. That I think is something that great perk if you're traveling to major hubs that RIMOWA stores are, and you know to some degree that they can take care of you. They of course didn't fully service my suitcase, so when I brought it back to my New York location, they did end up fully servicing my suitcase and then shipping it to me. But I do feel like they could have done better. Is the inside of these suitcases are fairly generic and basic. Like pretty much you are paying for the name. This is the inside. It comes with two sliders. You can organize whatever you want in there. The other things I also noticed that RIMOWA does incredibly well, and I tried to look into when I was looking for suitcases and how to manufacture them, was the handles. So these handles to me are really interesting because they do lock throughout different places that will tend to fall down. And with RIMOWA, I have not had that happen yet, thankfully, in the many years that I've been traveling with it. Whatever they are building these handlebars with, it is more sturdy than what I could find personally when I was trying to source to make my own version of these for my brand. At the end of the day, RIMOWA is a luxury brand. So you are paying for a status symbol or a name, right? And there is a degree of quality to it, but for the price point of $2,000, if price is a big factor to your purchasing decision and the servicing and the customer service doesn't matter, you can easily get $200, $300, $400 suitcases somewhere else in the market, and I'm sure you can replace them many times over for that $2,000 that you would pay for the original trunk. But of course, if you wanted a legacy brand, if you like the aesthetic of RIMOWA, you like the story, whatever it is, and you do feel like the servicing is valuable, and I really honestly ended up buying RIMOWA because I felt like I couldn't make something as good as RIMOWA, and I was just drawn to wanting a perfect product. And to me, RIMOWA has really perfected the suitcase, so that's why I have a RIMOWA. If price was an issue though, don't get it! Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it, but let me know if you have other questions. I did leave a more thorough short form review of the product itself, a little bit better, I think, through the YouTube short. So you can look at those. RIMOWA, if you're watching this, that was a complete unpaid post. Please hit me up. I would love more RIMOWA suitcases, maybe even a collaboration, you know. Let's make something happen.